Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. What's the better T-shirt to describe the 2019 Cleveland Browns season? Pittsburgh started it, or come get me? Frankly, I'm a little fed up with hearing whether players want to go or stay, especially when they're in the middle of a contract. Just for your information, players rarely are concerned where they are going to play unless they want to play in their own hometown. They play for one thing, money. It's the fans who care about the other stuff. That just doesn't seem to make any sense. We got the D-Man here. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into its 24th consecutive year. Seen exclusively on cleveland.com, as is the D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff. Hello, Dennis.
Hi, Les.
How are you?
I just want you to know I'm staying.
Nobody asked. I'm fed up with it.
Uncle on this stuff.
Yeah, I'm fed up
from
with
Jarvis and OBJ. Uncle. I know they're claiming, oh, it wasn't us. We're not the ones with the national reports. I don't want to hear from Jarvis or Odell.
Go out and play football.
Oh, my gosh. This is what happened when you turn over the keys to your team to wideouts. Okay?
When did wideouts become the big position? I always thought quarterback was
Look around at good teams. Do good teams tolerate this drama involving their wide receivers?
No.
Week after week after week. Now we get Odell coming down from on high. Oh, I'm going to be here. Well, last time I checked, you don't determine that, Odell. You really don't.
You signed a contract.
And the Browns can cut you today if they feel it. Oh, you don't want to cut Odell. He's so talented. I'm so sick of hearing about how talented OBJ is.
You got to keep the guy. Fulfill the obligation. They made the trade not based on this year alone, which has been a failure. They made it on a 4 or 5 year basis, didn't they? Or am I wrong?
I mean, Les, Sunday afternoon disaster in the desert, okay? Monday night, I watched the New Orleans Saints with Drew Brees and Michael Thomas. That's how an offense is supposed to run. That's how a quarterback is supposed to play.
And by the way, Drew Brees isn't that big.
No. Mayfield should pattern his game as best he can after Drew Brees. And Michael Thomas, the Saints do not force-feed Michael Thomas the ball.
No.
He gets his during the course of a game because he's so talented. And then at the end of the game, you look up and you go, wow, Michael Thomas had a hell of a game. Yeah. Michael Thomas had a hell of a season. You don't hear Michael Thomas weekly talking about, you don't have him going to the sideline and arguing with the coach that he's not getting enough touches.
All right, when that happened.
Enough with these guys. My God.
When that happened with Landry going to the sideline, getting it on with the Freddie Kitchens, I actually thought that he was complaining that they didn't go for it on 4th and 2, down by 11 points.
So did I.
But it turns out that's not. You can make an argument both ways. But a 45-yarder by Seibert, I'm not sure that I'd be confident in that.
Les. Right. I said at the time, you got to go for it. They didn't.
It had to be 4 down territory.
But if Landry is telling Kitchens at that point, hey, we got to go for it, I'm good with that.
Right.
And I, like you, thought that was the case. Then you find out from Landry himself, no, he's complaining about not getting the ball enough.
That's a bad look at that point.
I mean, my God, you cannot, Cleveland Browns, you can't let wide receivers run the show. They are part of the mosaic.
All right.
They are not the people you run your offense through.
Okay, speaking of the mosaic.
Golly.
Dustin Fox of 92.3 The Fan, which, by the way, I'll be there on Friday this week from 10 to 2 and also Tuesday and Thursday, wrapped right around Christmas, 92.3 The Fan. D-Man, Dustin came up with the thing that it'll take 4 things to happen. I can't even believe I'm talking about this. 4 things to happen this week, and if they do, there's 4 things that need to happen the next week. And I got to tell you something. The toughest one is Cleveland trying to beat Baltimore. After that, the other ones, I would say that those teams are favored, and the team that you need to lose are the underdogs in those games. What do you have?
According to D. Fox, no reason he wouldn't get this right.
Be right.
You know, he had to have known. Week 16, there's 4 things that have to happen. Browns beat the Ravens, Jets beat the Steelers, Saints beat the Titans, Colts beat the Panthers.
All doable situations.
Except the first one.
Except the Browns game.
And then if by some miracle the Browns beat the Ravens, you could see the Jets beating the Steelers, the Saints beating the Titans, and the Colts beating the Panthers. Let's say that happens. Week 17, 4 more. Browns beat the Bengals.
Very doable.
Ravens beat the Steelers. If the Browns beat the Ravens need that game for the AFC #1 seed, presumably. So that's very doable. Texans beating the Titans at home.
They just did it.
They're in Houston. They just beat them in Tennessee. And then the Colts beating the Jaguars. The Jaguars are cooked.
None of those situations except the Browns and Baltimore would I say, no, that can't happen. Those other 4 games each week are extremely doable.
And that's what's truly amazing about this NFL season, that as terrible as the Browns have been, there's a fraction of a centimeter that they of a chance, because it has to be a 4-way tie at 8-8 amongst the Colts, the Titans, the Steelers, and the Browns.
Any other combination doesn't work.
Any other combination won't work, so that's why these 8 things have to happen. But I don't see how they beat the Baltimore Ravens.
No, I don't see it either. Tell me, let's take a look at what went wrong besides about everything in 2019 and see what we come up with. We'll take a look. Trading away Zeitler, right? The Browns ranked 18th in pass block grades from Pro Football Focus and 26th in run block grade. How can that be when you got Nick-Chubb? How's that possible?
Well, it shows how great Chubb is.
Browns have allowed 34 sacks this year, 38 for the total 16 games last year. They got 2 more games to play. Let's take a look at Freddie Kitchens' offense. Well, that's it. What's happened since then? This is same amount of games for Baker-Mayfield. They had 14 last year, 14 this year. Points per game, 22 last year to 21.4 this year. 368 yards against 350, excuse me, and pass yardage, 250 a game versus 223. Rushing 118 per game versus 126, and 24 turnovers. Way too many, both same amount in both years.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Baker-Mayfield.
This is almost a direct comparison because as you said, 14 games for Mayfield last year, and he's played 14 this year.
What's more concerning to you, the sack amount of 34 this year versus 25 last year, or 17 interceptions versus 14?
I mean, honestly, Les, it's the 10 fewer touchdowns that jump out at me. When you have an almost identical number of attempts and the same amount of games, and you have 10 fewer touchdowns, that right there is 2, potentially 3 games worth. You could potentially be talking about a 9-win team instead of a 6-win team with those 10 touchdowns.
What do you think is his biggest problem this year? Early on, I thought it was the throwing off the back foot, but he got that right. But what else went wrong for him?
There's no doubt it's a combination of things, Les, but I always start with the player. I think it's too easy to blame just the coaches, just the scheme.
Right.
I think Mayfield needs to look in the mirror and say, I have to be considerably better next year than I was in 19. Mechanics, decisions, inaccuracies. Got to figure out exactly why he was inaccurate to the extent that he was.
There's been a bunch of guys wide open when he threw elsewhere.
Yes.
And I assume all quarterbacks do that, but it was blatant as far as Mayfield's concerned.
And you're going to have, the apologists are always going to start with the coaches, the scheme, the line, the receivers running wrong routes. And, those are all part of it. But Mayfield, the eyes tell you, in addition to the sabermetrics, in addition to the numbers, the eyes tell you that you didn't see the same quarterback in 19 that you saw last year.
Did he look heavier to you?
A little bit, but I've hesitated to go there because it's not for me to tell a professional athlete
what his body
unless
needs.
it's glaring. Yeah. I don't think you want Baker Mayfield to be super sleek. You want some padding, if you will, because he's got to absorb it as a smaller guy. But that said, I think he could have stood to be in better shape this year.
216-575-0403, the D-Man who's been, how many years have you been with us? Many. Happy.
But remember, I'm going to be here next year.
You're going to stay?
Yeah, you should be happy.
Well,
and I'm not going to go to the Steelers.
No.
Okay?
No. Merry Christmas to you and Denise and the whole gang over there. You've been terrific for us, and we appreciate your friendship.
I appreciate it. I thank you for having me, Les, all these years. And, yeah, thank you for the Merry Christmas. My wife, Denise, is, phenomenal. And
let me just tell you something. In football terms, you outkicked your coverage.
Let's see. You are the 555,000 person that's told me that. But yeah,
that's a compliment, by the way.
I have. Yeah. I don't know. Well, I don't want to say I don't know what my wife sees in me, but I'm very grateful that she has chosen to be with me. Absolutely.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. A couple of announcements coming up about we're going to be on the road next week a little bit. You'll have a chance to come and see us do the show, and a couple of other announcements that we've got when we come back. Did you know about the Ohio lottery? You didn't win the lottery, did you? Somebody at Giant Eagle.
Have we checked on Hoynes yet?
Hoynesy lives out in Menor. Maybe it is. I talked to Hoynesy. He didn't sound like he won $300 million.
You know how Hoynes would be, though. Number one,
thank you.
He would matter-of-factly accept the check.
Yeah.
And number two, he'd be at work the next day at 8 a.m.
No question about it. There's over $3 million paid out on Ohio Lottery scratch-offs every day. Give the gift of winning this month with the stockings, the holiday stockings, the popular Ohio Lottery scratch-offs like Holiday Cash, Holiday Lucky Times 10, and Merry Millions, all from the Ohio Lottery. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine, and we pose a question each day, and you can respond to it, and you'll hear it and see it on the air on facebook.com. Back in a moment, D-Man alluded to it. Beckham wants to stay. We can all sleep easy tonight, right?
Thank goodness.
Let's take a break. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
I've been talking to the big Blue Bombers and the Toronto Argonauts, a couple Canadian League teams that I'm also, trying to get traded to. So it's been, it's been great conversations. It's done. It's old. I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here. We're gonna figure this thing out. It's just too special to leave. So. The Steelers, I heard that Jarvis wanted to go to the Cardinals and all these people. It's just easy to talk about. It's like it's a cop-out, I feel like. It's an easy thing to do and cause a little controversy and a little friction. And I feel like in my experiences in the league and, kind of going through the troubles that I did, I can now see how those stories, for me, it'll never bother. It's never going to affect me, but then it's like, does it cause a little friction between you and a teammate who doesn't necessarily know what it is you're thinking? So it's just done. It's time to just put it to bed. I'm going to be here. There's nothing more to talk about unless I go to the Argonauts or the Blue Bombers.
So when you say you're going to be here, you're going to be here next season?
Yeah, we're going to be here. We're going to do it again, and we're going to be what we felt like we should have been and correct all the little, mistakes and all the if we would have did this games, and it's just too good. I didn't buy a house here to sell it. I know people have said, I didn't sign them to trade them before, but I didn't really buy a house here to up and leave it and do renovations on the house and build a doghouse and yeah. So
come get me can be construed as you're talking trash, you're challenging your opponent, whatever. Is that what that is? I mean, can you set the record?
I need like the audio from where that was said. You see LeBron talking to somebody after the game and they're talking like this and all of that, and it's like, is LeBron saying, "Oh, we should team up," or is this is a brotherhood? These are guys that you were friends with in the offseason. These are guys that all around the league. So it's like you can't have a conversation after the game without everyone being in your business. That's why we do this. We don't want you to know what we're talking about, good, bad, or nothing at all. We just don't want you sitting there, trying to listen and make up things. So whenever they find and I definitely for sure ain't going to the Steelers. That would never happen, for sure. I seen they were talking about returns to New York and all this other stuff. I don't know where people are getting this from. So definitely not going back there either. So it is what it is. I'll be right here.
All right, so I get from that Beckham's going to the Argonauts. It's clear what he meant by all that, and that is the media. The media did it.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you could say he didn't. He's not the one with the reports, but as I said, on winning teams, wide receivers are part of the solution. They are not the focal point. You don't run your offense through wide receivers. You don't bend over backwards to make them happy. Look what happened to Mayfield when he tried to genuflect at OBJ's altar about the injury, and then he has to backtrack because he threw his medical team under the bus. This stuff happens when your world revolves around wide receivers. And the Browns, they don't just have one. It's a match set now. You don't just get Beckham. You get Beckham and Landry. You don't get Landry. You get Landry and Beckham. They're together now. So now what? They're going to run the freaking locker room? What has Odell Beckham Jr. ever led you to in the NFL?
I have two demands.
One playoff game, Les.
If Freddie Kitchens If Freddie Kitchens stays, I have two things he's got to do. You ready?
Yes.
Number one is get rid of the shovel pass. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, put that one on ice.
Put that one on ice. And don't call plays anymore. Get a real play caller in here.
Well, Les, I'll say this. After the Cardinals game, post-game show on WTAM, I crossed the threshold, and I said for the first time that I believe Dorsey needs to make a change, that Kitchens needs to go.
How does Dorsey get out scot-free on this stuff, too?
He shouldn't. But
it's his guy.
But here's the thing, though. If I'm John Dorsey, I don't let my ego stop me from making the move if I feel like it has to be made. In other words, I don't want the embarrassment of having to admit I was wrong about Kitchens.
No, the embarrassment is if it's 2 years in a row.
Well, exactly. Think about Hugh Jackson. Think about Vance Joseph and others.
How about this? Mark Hazelwood writes in on email, and you can email us at real-leslevine@gmail.com. He says, I had an ominous feeling with the Browns this season when the schedule came out and featured 3 games on in the Pacific Mountain time zones. The Browns have never fared too well in the West, but particularly since the return in 1999. They are 29-55 in games played against the 7 teams with those time zones. How about this? Browns all-time at Oakland and L.A. when they were the Raiders, 7-9. Denver Broncos 4-13. San Diego and L.A. Chargers 4-8. L.A. Rams 5-7, Seattle Seahawks 3-8, San Francisco 5-6, and Arizona 1-4. They are 29-65 against those teams combined. That's not good.
No, it isn't, Les. That's a franchise number. It's not specific necessarily to. Well, there's only a few games that the 19 team has contributed, but no excuses going to the Cardinals last Sunday. Cardinals 3-9-1 had lost 6 in a row.
Rookie quarterback.
Just Mayfield, Landry, Beckham, Hunt, and Chubb should be able to win you the game. Instead, they score 17 points in non-garbage time.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. Northeast Factory Direct, they're the place to go, only if you want to save money and get the highest quality furniture. That's a pretty good reason. They've got east, west, and to the south, West 140th Street in Cleveland, the old B&B Appliance Building on Lakeland Boulevard, and Freeway Drive, the new one, that's in Macedonia. Or check out everything before you go. They have it at northeastfactorydirect.com. No gimmicks, no deceiving sales, just 3 huge bare-bone warehouses. He pays about 1/10 what in rent compared to the big box stores, and he passes the savings on to you. He's been doing it 20 years, started in a garage in Lakewood, Ohio with 1 piece of furniture. It's an amazing story. Northfield Park is your home for live and simulcast racing every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday with the post time at 6 p.m. And they're the place to go. Live racing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's free admission, free parking every day at Northfield Park. All right, here's the announcement. Next Thursday, the day after Christmas, we're going to do 2 shows from Buffalo Wild Wings. That's in Warrensville Heights at Harvard Road at I-271. We've been there a couple years in a row. We'll be there from 4 to 5 with 1 show, and the next show from 6 until 7. Come out and join us at Buffalo Wild Wings. We've got some feelers out for some pretty good people. It'll be great anyway, and then we'll do the end of the year show and wrap that up as we get into the 2020 sports season. So we'll see you out at Buffalo Wild Wings next Thursday, the day after Christmas, 4 to 5 rather, with 1 show, and 6 to 7 with the next. Coming up, Jarvis-Landry addresses the "Come Get Me" comment. Unbelievable. More Sports and Les-levine continues with the D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff, exclusively on cleveland.com.
Get your basement ready for the holidays.
There was moisture in the basement. It ruined the carpeting. The smell was terrible. We didn't feel safe in our own basement, and that's when we called Nature Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. For a limited time, get Nature Stone installed now and pay nothing until next year. Payments as low as $99 a month. No interest, no down payment. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
National Holidays expert Mary here with a list of holidays you won't want to miss. Get your Ohio Lottery Merry Million scratch-offs for National Donut Day, National Have a Party with Your Bear Day, Pickle Day, National Unique Talent Day, Take a Hike Day, and America's favorite, National Jukebox Day. Every day is a reason to celebrate. Grab a Merry Millions and other Ohio Lottery holiday scratch-offs today.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
I would never say nothing like that. And I don't even want to talk about it. Yeah, very. I don't feel like I didn't feel like I had to address it. I think that, you know, the passion and the team I play for, that they trust and know my heart and know that I'm in this, and I would never look to another team during a game, especially that we're losing, and say, "Come get me," with a worse record than we have. Like, you know, so, you know, Michael or whoever the source was, you know what I mean? Like, it's all about clicks now, and I get it, but at the end of the day, like, don't try to slander my name, or, you know, if you didn't hear me say it directly, you shouldn't have to be able to report about it.
Would that go against everything you are?
Absolutely. I would never ever do that. Yeah, of course, our relationship is a big piece and big part of, being here together. Again, not knowing when it will be possible, but it happened, and, that part's behind us now. And now it's time to try to find a way to make it work. And, whether that's, finishing this year out and starts next year, or, we get an opportunity to make a run at the playoffs, and from there it's a game at a time. So, everything's still in front of us.
Can these trials and tribulations that this team has gone through this year, learning how to win, learning how to approach those must-win games late in the season, and that, when you look at the big picture in the future, do you think that what you guys went through or going through this year can ultimately benefit you to help get you over the hump in the future?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that you can never have enough of is experience, right? And I think guys go through things throughout the season, and a lot of these guys were on the team last year, so they kind of felt the same things that were going on this year in some instances. And I think down the road it will allow us to have that experience to even start a season off, with guys that have been through, those tough games and those tough battles and long trials of a season, and we'll be able to pull them out.
All right, there you have it, Jarvis-Landry commenting on that. This is so easily taken care of if you just shut it down as soon as it comes out. It's typical.
He's claiming he shouldn't have to address it at all because it's preposterous.
Well, yes, except for one thing. This is the Cleveland Browns, and those things happen. At a certain point in the season, you run out of football stuff to talk about, and that's why if they just played better, you wouldn't have that problem.
And this is what losing teams do. Losing teams begat wide receivers taking over the news cycle. I will say this, though. I agree with one thing Landry said there. He was mentioning, okay, it's a dream for, it was a dream for OBJ and I to be together, and it's great to be teammates. And he said, that part's behind us now. Thankfully, he was acknowledging, okay, enough of this.
Right.
We're teammates and more. Now we got to actually start winning instead of rejoicing in each other's presence.
No question about it. 216-575-0403. We're going to continue to talk Browns. But over the weekend, Corey-Kluber traded to Texas for, Delano DeShields Jr., and a Emmanuel Clase, I believe is the way you pronounce it, 99-mile-an-hour fastball. What do you think of that whole thing? Two-time Cy Young Award winner is gone.
Yeah, let me say first, Klubot, tremendous dude, awesome to interview, great guy, learned so much from him. Sad to see him go.
I've got his beard.
You got his beard. Nothing but professional. He was team first the whole way, and he taught a lot of pitchers how to conduct themselves.
Just by watching.
Mound. Right, not only on the mound, but in the days between starts. I did not think in my worst nightmare that this was going to be all that the Indians would get for Kluber in the event that he was moved. I didn't think a two-time Cy Young Award winner at any point would garner a fourth outfielder and a prospect reliever. That said...
But coming off an injury, too.
Right. That said, he is damaged goods as of now. We don't know what he's going to look like in 2020, so that limits the amount you're going to get back.
Yeah, you're not trading the two-time Cy Young Award winner anymore.
That's another point. Yes, so... it's a little disappointing in one sense. Here's the thing. I knew pretty much for sure as soon as they picked up his option that they were going to move him. There's no way they were paying Corey-Kluber $17.5, $18 million
and that $17 million
for
isn't going to go to Francisco-Lindor. It might go to a free agent, though. Maybe.
Well, but you know what, though? Teams generally don't view how we think as savings.
Correct.
They don't see it that way.
No.
They're not saying, we're saving money.
No.
They're just not spending it. It's not, they don't say, we automatically are going to reallocate this $17 million.
Would you go after Puig?
No. I think.
Why? Because
I think we saw the best that you're going to see behavior-wise
because he's playing for
from
the contract.
Yasiel Puig, and even with the short time he was with the Indians, you had some head scratchers. Okay, not running out the ground ball in Minnesota,
throwing to
among
bases
others
that don't exist.
So even when he's on good behavior, you're still going to get the hiccups. Imagine you committing to him. I can't imagine Terry Francona could handle him. He'll say he could publicly, but I don't think Terry Francona would want a
speaking of
multi-year.
You heard about the robbery in his home in Arizona.
Francona, yeah.
Yeah, they found him. They found the guy. 2 World Series rings from Boston, and over $250,000 in a IRS refund.
That's odd to me.
Which part?
Well, I mean, certainly.
When I get an $18 refund check, I'm cashing it at the bank the next day.
Exactly. What year did that pertain to?
Yeah, I don't know.
The refund check.
I'm assuming this past one. 216-575-0403. I got another announcement in a minute. Tri-C is a place where you can explore your interests, find a program that puts you on the path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses in 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information. All right, Dave Bacon is going to be out at Presque Isle Downs and Casino. That'll be coming up. When is that going to be? That's going to be New Year's Eve. How about that? Beginning at 11 a.m., players will have a chance to win free play and cash prizes all day long. They'll be open from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. in the Backstreet Buffet. And Presque Isle Downs converts the downstairs racing area into a Mardi Gras-themed dance party. The event is free to the public, but you must be 21 or older. So Dave will be broadcasting the ms&ll weekend winners from Presque Isle this Friday from your closest place to place a sports wager. That's at Presque Isle Downs and Casino and Sportsbook, and that's just 20 miles from the Ohio line into Erie, Pennsylvania. Again, we're talking about the big party coming up on New Year's Eve, but Dave will be out there on Friday night. We're going to come back in a moment. The Pro Bowl, we're going to talk about it. Does Pro Bowl matter anymore? I don't think so.
To the players it does.
Maybe for the check, and then they beg off, and I don't blame them. Back in a moment. More Sports and Les-Levine, seen exclusively on cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
D-Man, I got to tell you something. We got some pretty good How Come Quickies for tonight. When we get to that portion of the show, 216-575-0403.
I was at that game as a fan with my buddy Diz.
December 18th, 1991, Cavaliers beat the Miami Heat 148-80. That's correct, 148-80. Margin of victory 68 remains the NBA record for the most. Cavs players scored in eight Cavs players scored in double digits. Mark Price and John Battle led the Cavs with 18 points. Steve Kerr, what did he ever do after that? Added 5 points for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
It was a surreal game. I mean, you could not believe what you were watching.
Unbelievable.
Birthdays?
Birthdays.
Tyrus Raymond Cobb.
Ty Cobb, maybe the meanest man to ever play, right? Could
right
be.
Up there.
Bill Skowron, the Moose from the Yankees. Margin for error, 1947. What's going to become of Eric Haase now that they've either upgraded or changed the backup catcher's role? Yeah. Byron Buxton, one of the fastest players ever in baseball. Ronald Acuna Jr., born on this date. in 1997. 216-575-0403 is the number. Let's look at Nick Chubb and his Rose Bowl resume for 2020. 270 carries, 1408 in yards, 8 touchdowns, 35 receptions, 277 yards, 7 games with 100-plus rushing this season. That's pretty consistent. Nick Chubb with a great year. Let's look at Jarvis-Landry, who we saw earlier. 74 receptions, 1,018 yards, 13.8 per reception, and only 5 touchdowns on the year. When you thought that or heard that you were going to get Jarvis-Landry, how many touchdowns did you chalk him up for this year?
Honestly, right about that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I didn't expect too many more than that. I think Jarvis has had a really good year. And when I criticize Landry and Beckham, I'm not saying they're not talented. I'm just saying that winning teams don't talk about their wide receivers all the time.
Joe Schobert, should he have been a Pro Bowler this year?
You can make a case for sure.
Well, here's the case. 116 tackles, 79 of them solo, 5.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 4 interceptions, pretty impressive. A couple of fumbles forced and 1 fumble recovery for Joe Schobert, who was looking for a big contract, but the Browns don't seem to be interested in paying him.
Exactly. So who would have thought? And what do you have? The team you're facing on Sunday had 12 Pro Bowl selections in the first batch of Pro Bowl, because you always had the injuries and guys. But
the Browns may get another 1 or 2.
Yeah, and isn't Beckham a Pro Bowl alternate?
Based on what?
I thought I saw that. I'm like, really? How is that possible? But anyway, I mean, his numbers are okay, but he's not a Pro Bowler. Come on, at least this year.
Patricia Trocchio has a good answer for a T-shirt. He said Pittsburgh started it before. She says Cleveland ended it. That may be, except they were out without Myles Garrett for the rest of the season.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a cute sweatshirt.
Although Pittsburgh
a
said
idea.
it finished it by winning in Pittsburgh, and how big does that outcome look when you're talking about scrounging around to try to get in the playoffs? If the Browns, I mean, again,
6-8, and some things could happen.
Just win one more game, but any team can say that. I understand, but still. Just 5 inexcusable losses by the Browns this year. 5 embarrassments. That's why, to me, Kitchens is on a very, very hot seat right now. Or should be.
You can get that hot seat from Northeast Factory Direct. You can get any kind of furniture there. East, west, and to the south. West 140th in Cleveland, Lakeland Boulevard in Euclid, and Freeway Drive, that is in Macedonia. But more important, you can go to northeastfactorydirect.com for more information before you even go out. Sokolowski's University Inn, we know what they've got. The best food in town for lunch, 5 minutes out of downtown Cleveland, and plenty of free parking and plenty of great food. Cafeteria style, and they were voted by Wine and Food Magazine, which is the standard for the business. Voted as the #2 restaurant of that kind in the entire United States, to go on top of their James Beard Foundation Award, which only 5 in the country get each and every year. Mike and Bernie Sokolowski's University Inn. We've got the Facebook question of the day. We'll come back and we'll check out some of the responses. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Get your garage ready for the holidays.
We had some cracks in the floor. We needed to enhance the beauty of it. That's when we called Nature Stone.
Nature Stone corrects uneven concrete, so you don't have to worry about tripping or slipping. And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your garage floor again. For a limited time, get Nature Stone installed now and pay nothing until next year. Payments as low as $99 a month. No interest, no down payment. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downton Casino now has sports betting. Use one of the 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet. Then, watch your favorite games on our new HD televisions or visit our new sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downton Casino.
Part of this date in sports history. Used to go to the Tasty Pizza when I was in high school. Still going there today. This date in Les-Levine history, December 18th, 1961. Impeachment proceedings begin to have Les ousted as captain of the safety patrol at Roland School. The vote was along party lines. The students wanted more parties. Les didn't want to give it to him. Had a lot of power in those days. So I lost. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Let's check out our Facebook question of the day. How concerned are you with all the drama around Browns players? Larry Pantages starts us off. He says, in the weekly mellow drama, little things, is it a little thing or a big thing? What caused the losses to the Rams, Seattle, and Denver? Instead of 6-8, the record could easily be 9-5. Imagine the 2019 Browns behaving like the 70 Oakland A's in overcoming fighting, arguing, while winning. Rick May says, more like exhausted every week. A different drama occurs and the upcoming game becomes an afterthought. I'm guessing this week's drama will be which will be the best-selling t-shirt this Christmas. Pittsburgh started it or come get me. That was what I asked before. Kevin Quinby says, always waiting for next year. Glenn Berger says there's too much associated with this Browns team and too little good winning football being played. The offense scores 1 or 2 touchdowns a game. It's not nearly enough to win in today's NFL. The defense can't get a stop when they really need one. Another disappointing season. You got a poll there from Dustin Fox of 92.3 The Fan.
Yeah, Dustin put it at, it says final results now at 22,445 votes. He put up 3 candidates to coach the Browns in 2020. Freddie Kitchens, Ron Rivera, my guy, and Mike McCarthy. Kitchens, 10%. Mike McCarthy, 38%. Ron Rivera, 52%.
Wow.
On
How about
22,445 votes.
Urban Meyer?
Well, I think Herb is destined to coach the Cowboys if the Cowboys do not win a playoff game this year. I think that will be the avenue to get there. Now, he was a guest, I believe, of Daniel Snyder, Redskins game this past weekend.
Well, he had a couple
he's watching
players.
Haskins and McLaren. Yeah. I don't think he would want to step into that toxic environment. They're working on an interim coach
I read
in Callahan.
Read something in USA Today the other day, giving all the reasons why he shouldn't coach in the NFL. His best attribute is recruiting. Right? Would you agree with that? I mean, he gets great players.
That's part of it. But I think Herb's a great CEO. He's a great manager. I think he'd hire a tremendous staff. I go back to a few years ago when they asked him about his future, and he said something to the effect of, I haven't done the NFL thing yet. He used the word yet with the statement. That led me to believe he still wants to scratch the itch. And if the Cowboys' job becomes available, I think he's a perfect choice.
Well, Cowboys probably the best-known team, right? In maybe not just the NFL, maybe in all sports. And you think about Jerry Jones, and you think how strong he is, and as an enforcer. Yet he keeps guys around a long time.
Yes, and some would say, well, how is Jones going to work with a non-yes man like Herb? I think Herb would be happy to be in the NFL, number one. So I don't think there's built-in friction there. Number two, I think Jerry Jones got to the point where he's like, I got to win. I mean, some will say he kept Garrett long for a while because he wants a yes man, but I think Jones is finally saying, I got to win. I don't care who it is.
All right, we're going on the road a week from tomorrow. We're going to go to BW3, Buffalo Wild Wings. That's on Harvard Road right at 271. We've got 2 shows we're going to be doing. Special guests will be there. I'll announce them tomorrow on the show when Paul Hoynes is here. We'll do shows from 4 to 5 and from 6 until 7 if you want to join us and be on the air with us. We'd be more than happy to have you here. That's at Buffalo Wild Wings in Warrensville Heights, and that, of course, is at Harvard Road at I-271. Voicemail of Truth and Reason. If you can't call us, you can't reach us during the time we do the show live, you can leave us a message. 216-200-6650. We'll put your calls on the air when there is time to do that. That's the voicemail of Truth and Reason. Don't forget Northfield Park Your home for live and simulcast racing. 6 p.m. is the post time. That's for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as well as Saturday and Sunday. Open early every day for simulcast action all over the world. That's at Northfield Park, where it's free admission, free parking every day. We'll come back. We'll check out some How Come Quickies. We'll have a couple of final thoughts from the D-Man and from you. More Sports and Les-Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
Get your basement ready for the holidays.
We had a horrible storm that flooded our basement.
We had to take out that nasty moldy carpet.
And we never want to have to go through that again. That's when we called Nature's Stone.
And with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty, you will never have to replace your basement flooring again. For a limited time, get Nature's Stone installed now and pay nothing until next year. Payments as low as $99 a month. No interest, no down payment. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature's Stone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
Tomorrow night, Hoynesy will be here. He's working on a rant right now from cleveland.com. Looking forward to that. You see us live from 6 until 7 Eastern Time, 6 to 7 p.m. And, of course, you can also find us, you can archive us all day long. Dave Bacon's going to be out at Presque Isle Downs and Casino. That'll be this Friday night. He'll broadcast the More Sports and Les-Levine weekend winners from the Presque Isle. Only 20 miles from the Pennsylvania border on Route 90. Easy to get to, only an hour from downtown Cleveland, and that'll be coming up on Friday. He'll be at Presque Isle for the closest place to place a sports wager. That's at Presque Isle Downs and Casino and Sportsbook, and 21 and over, please. And then I'll be at BW3 Buffalo Wild Wings. That'll be this Thursday, 4 to 5 and 6 until 7 with 2 different shows. He-Man, how come when you see a doctor, it might be more important to see his or her grades rather than what school he or she went to? You agree with that?
Absolutely. It's always the performance within the institution and the institution itself.
You want to do what I do. I've been working with Smiley One for a long time. You remember, it's never too late to have your furnace tuned with the Smiley One Pro Max heating tune-up and safety inspection. I've got mine coming up, I believe, in 2 weeks. Even if it's in the middle of the bad weather, it's perfect time to do it. 216-575-0403 if you want to get in for the final comment or two. All right, got some quickies to go to. D-Man, you ready to grade them?
Yes, sir.
I think this is a strong batch, and I just want to say for those who were mourning the end of How Come Quickies, no, we've made a comeback in the last week or two. Thanks to the people who majored in quickies at whatever school they went. Toledo Mike is coming in strong. Toledo Mike's first one of the night. How come the word phonetically is not spelled with an F? What do you think?
Tough to see.
Well, what is
7.
It? 7?
I'll hold up the fingers.
Here.
Oh, all right.
That'll
7.
work. Got it? 7. Good number. Alex, who's in the back control room, D-Man. How come I was able to come up with a quickie and I think it's the best ever? Cheers from the control room. Yeah, but he didn't. Alex, you didn't give me a quickie. He just said he finally got through.
I'll pass. I like Alex. I'll pass.
Toledo Mike comes back with this one. How come a fly without wings is called a walk? Doesn't fly. 8.5 is an excellent grade. Toledo Mike again. It's the Toledo Mike Show. It's a mic drop. How come I couldn't figure out how to fasten my seatbelt and then it clicked? Mr. Gullible. How come Freddie Kitchens' career path is going from shovel pass to shovel snow? It could go either way.
That's too much of a cheap shot.
It is? All right.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't a cheap shot, what would the number be?
It's a cheap shot quickie. I'm uncomfortable with those.
Okay. How about this one? How come Santa's nationality is North Polish? See, he's from the North Pole. What do you got? 7.5. I got to tell you something. John Patrick, I love this one. I wouldn't give it a 10, but I love it. How come the hippie's wife was called Mrs. Hippie? What do you got? 9.0. I agree with that. The hippie's wife was known as Mrs. Hippie. That's it. I'm done. I got nothing left. All right.
That's it?
No, it's not it. We gotta do some stuff.
Quickies I was talking about.
Yeah. No, that's it with quickies. Pretty good batch, right?
Solid.
I'm thinking of keeping them, keeping it as a bit. All right. The Tribe. What are they going to do here? You think? What are the odds? Francisco-Lindor is still with them opening day.
I think the
out
odds
of 10. Out of 10.
10 being absolutely here. I would say right now an 8.
An 8.
I think you need the Dodgers to get a little bit desperate.
Right.
And want to make a splash. And as you get closer to spring training, perhaps the Dodgers cave. But I like the fact that in the initial round, as reported by the national media, the Indians have dug in and said, this is what we want, and they're not agreeing to
And by the way, I've checked with some people who know, a couple of baseball people, and these guys they're talking about are terrific.
Yeah, Lux and May for sure, and you'd like to pry Verdugo out of there somehow, any combination. You had mentioned Jock Peterson. I said if I'm the Indians, my initial discussion is, my 2 years out discussion, when I have the leverage, I want 2 Major League ready players and an additional 3 prospects. Maybe the Indians are asking something along those lines, and the Dodgers are simply saying no, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you forget. You think the Dodgers win all the time, which they do in their division. They haven't won a World Series since Kirk Gibson, right?
Since Bulldog, 88.
88.
Yeah. Exactly. And when you think
that's hard to believe.
You know what else is amazing, Les, about that? That Oakland A's team from in the late 80s and early 90s that was so dominant. Won World Series title. They go in 88 and they get stunned by the Dodgers. They win the Earthquake Series in '89 against the Babe Ruth Series, the Earthquake. They beat the Giants, but then they come back in '90, 3 straight World Series trips, and the Nasty Boys beat them, the Reds.
Who are you talking about, Reggie?
No, I'm talking about Tony La Russa's A's with Eckersley, and the whole gang there, Hendu, and I mean they had talent just oozing, Steinbach and all these guys, and they only won 1 World Series.
Well, yeah, I just would have thought if you wake up in the middle of the night and somebody grabs you and says, how many World Series when was the last time the Dodgers won the World Series? I'd be hard-pressed to say 1988.
Well, Les, and that's part of the mythology that surrounds baseball. When baseball doesn't have a salary cap, people think, oh, the Yankees win every year, the Dodgers win every year, the Cubs win every year.
But they get there.
Well, they do, but not even all the time. They give themselves the best odds by spending a lot of money, but
I'll tell you
it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to get there, let alone win.
You, of course, are doing very well. You're making a comeback on your picks, right?
I am.
So if you're going to pick, when you get to the playoffs and you got 10 teams going, right?
Yes. Well, 12. I mean,
in the postseason.
Yeah, 4 division champs, 2 wild cards.
Yeah, okay.
6 in each, 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to pick your favorite, and it could be the Dodgers, could be the Yankees.
Oh, you're talking about MLB.
Yeah.
MLB is the
10.
same thing. Well, wait a minute. It's 3 divisions.
3
and 2
divisions
wild cards,
and 2 wild cards.
I thought you were talking NFL.
No. I'm talking baseball.
Yes.
You want to take the Dodgers, the Yankees, or whoever. You can have them. I'll take the field each and every year.
Yeah, and it's not an easy path, but you look at the Nationals last year. 19 and 31 in the regular season. They had just lost Bryce Harper. Yes, they had talent. Yes, they had a nice payroll.
And nice pitching.
But they went on a run that not many people outside of the district thought, and even those in the district were thinking, here we go again.
Yeah.
They're down multiple runs to the Brewers at home in the wild card in the 8th inning.
And pulled it out.
And it was very similar. The Nationals' run in this past year reminded me so much of the Indians' run in 2016. Just how they got hot.
You forget that they needed that hot streak and a lot of wins in a row.
Yeah,
you forget about it.
Right. Now, the Indians were a division champ, whereas the Nationals were a wild card. But it had a similar feel to the magical run of the postseason.
All right. If again, let's go back to Freddie Kitchens, because that seems to be what everybody wants to talk about. If he stays, what does he have to do to secure that staying here as the coach of the Cleveland Browns? I mean, he went up to Jarvis-Landry after the Landry came up to him. Is it the coach? Does the coach have to go to the player, or the player supposed to go to the coach?
I mean, I don't think that Kitchens should have gone there, honestly. I think he should have just said, all right, if Jarvis is going to blow off steam on me, I'll handle it later, but I'm not going to handle it while I'm trying to win the game or whatnot. I think Kitchens is trying to bend over backwards to show the players he has their back. He's done it all year, but it might be too late. As far as saving his job, if I'm Dorsey and I haven't made up my mind, I sit down Kitchens after the season and go, Freddie, I'm going to give you 3 hours to defend your job, 3 hours to convince me that you deserve to be the coach of the Browns in 2020. And in those 3 hours, I want explanations on the following. And I give him a 4-page, dare we say, dossier.
Call Kyle Shanahan. Let him put a PowerPoint presentation together.
And I want explanations about Higgins. I want explanations about Njoku. Now, maybe Dorsey's in on all this stuff anyway, but I would want Dorsey to tell Kitchens, you need to explain all of this and convince me that you deserve another year.
Before that happens, do the Haslams have that same meeting with John Dorsey? I mean, is there a question on him these days back in the offices?
He's no longer the Teflon Don.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not where nothing sticks to him anymore. But I think the Haslams made a commitment and a good move, by the way, to turn over the football stuff to the football man, John Dorsey. So I'm willing to. I think the Haslams would stay out of the way.
I think you're right about that. All right, Dennis-Manoloff, when are you on WTAM next?
Tomorrow night, Thursday night, 7 to 11 p.m.
Okay.
I mean, obviously p.m. Yeah.
Not obviously.
Tomorrow night at 7 to 11 p.m. Well, p.m. and tonight, same thing.
All right. I will be on 92.3 The Fan Friday morning from 10 until 2. Friday morning into the afternoon, and then same thing the day before and the day after Christmas. I'll see you tomorrow night with Hoynesy. Always entertaining. You don't want to miss. Well, catch the beginning. You don't have to wait till the end for the Hoynesy rant. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.